is really broke down. We're doing a 10-minute gig, man.
That's been alright. We could have handled that.
On the dangerous do something.
Well, let's face it, we can't face reality. Next gig will be fucking brilliant.
This guy's
man, you can tell it. I broke the string.
Why can't I come up and grab you, by the way?
Russell, do you mind coming up and changing a string for us, please? I would really good that.
You broke a string?
Really?
What song did you break the string on?
Just like, hey, Russell, have a discussion with everybody else while you're there. Like, change the string ball on that, and
By the way, big man.
It'd be better if they shut the fuck off. He takes opium substitutes.
86 probably, when me and Arthur got together. In the very beginning there was just me and Arthur, and an actually guy that used to play drums for us.
I knew Dave from school, and I invited him into my band when we were at school, which apparently was a really traumatic experience and kind of shaped his life from then onwards. So a couple of years down the road, he had this band and he was like really messed up and stuff, but he took me out to see this guitarist one night, and there was this guy with like long hair, and he just stood there and he went and he was like the fastest thing I had ever seen, and that was like Arthur. And it had an impact on my playing, because like I sat in my bedroom for years and attempted to go really fast from then on. It was just like a total inspiration to me, you know. Eventually I met him years later, and he had like this little goatee beard and he looked just like a goblin. And he was away to like do this gig with this band called Poloi, and he told me like he was getting this band together that had like really extreme time signatures and really extreme time changes and stuff, and I thought, that's the band for me. And 3 years later I joined the band.
Something started at the station, but me, that's only where like we kind of met for the first time, and then me and Dave just went on to play.
Our band was called Outrage.
I played for Mankind. We wanted to play in Oi Poloi, and then I left Oi Poloi and joined Exploited.
I was a directionless 14-year-old and thought, right, I can either get a TV or a guitar. I thought, you don't make much money watching TV, I'll get a guitar, see what happens. And then I became a virtuoso. And then once beyond a certain point, I thought, right, I've achieved that, I'll just start singing. Nah, I record on the albums, but just sing live.
I was in a band called Garglebud, which was just starting up at the time. And Arthur, who plays guitar, met him and fell in love instantly with him. Settled down, had a couple of kids. Now he joined Garglebud to play, and then he buggered off. I left Garglebud, and they disbanded. And then I was in the pub one day and I met Arthur and he was with Fraz and Dave. And they asked me if I wanted to play drums for them because they needed a drummer for their band.
Well, we just weren't getting gigs, we just weren't getting interest of promoters, because we were far too out there for most promoters to even think about putting us on, so we just had to take the sound and put it on the street where it belonged for the kids. We basically had the idea of just being a sort of mobile rent-a-band and sort of travelling around Edinburgh with a little van and a little generator and just turning up and doing gigs wherever we could annoy people the most.
If you're a band, a rock band and stuff, at the time of the festival, which is meant to be kind of, you know, promoting the arts, I mean, you just don't get a look in, you know. There's theatre companies and there's guys juggling and all that kind of stuff, and if you're a band, I mean, there's just no venues to play, so we thought we'd get outside and just impose ourselves upon people, basically. we've always been an on the street kind of band, I think that's definitely where, the kind of audience we're aiming for. So I mean, we basically put ourselves on the street, where it's happening. There was a sizable crowd of people there to see the people juggling, and as soon as there was something decent and exciting, i.e. us, happening, I mean, people weren't interested in the jugglers.
Once we started playing, everybody started watching us and sort of ignoring them. As it turned out, there was a generator ban on in the festival, so the police kept coming and telling us to shut up, which was okay, because by the time that most people realised we were making a noise, our set in those days was only half an hour anyway, so we got away with it.
That's when we came later on, so we didn't start.
Please just move along.
Just says, you're lucky they didn't come earlier, because if...
Aye, it would have been stopped.
No, they take your equipment away.
Well, that's what we're saying, it's like you'll get confiscated if you didn't show up, but they've got to come in and give you a warning if you do your business. That was a warning, right? You better shut up. You need to be the gallery, Ken, right? You can't have like somebody in public say, like, if you're standing in a football pitch on it.
No, we were going to play up Colton Hill, and we took the van up and started unloading the gear. Then the park attendant guy came over, told us that we'd have to get permission for the council to play there. And basically, all you need to say was like, you have to get permission to play there, but it went on for about an hour, like going on like, how we need to get permission for the council to play there. And we were just like, aye, right, okay. And we just stood there and just kept on going about how we had to get permission for the council to play there. And so we were just listening to me saying that for about an hour, and we decided to leave and go to Bristol Square and play there instead, which was quite good fun. Right? It was alright. It was a nice day. There was loads of wee skateboarders and that skating about.
Check up your regular for these kind of parks.
So it was not a bad day.
I didn't want to do this. I wanted to go home and interfere with myself. I thought it was a far better plan. In fact, I even bought a Scuddy mag especially. That's life, eh?
Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Anywhere apart from the museum.
Well, let's get the stuff back in the van.
Good to do that and Riz.
We're starting to move from everybody!
obviously given people a chance to hear us whether they wanted to or not, which was the main idea of it, to like play to people that there's no way, like if we were actually playing, we would get them in the door just to well, see for ourselves what they thought of us, really, to see if we were ever going to make it beyond small gigs and whether it was worth our while doing it, really.
We've always played outside. I mean, our first gig was off the back of a truck in a field, you know, at a barbecue for one of our friends, you know. And I remember every time Willie kicked in sort of, you know, sort of double bass drum beats and stuff, together with the wind, like the whole truck was shaking and stuff. And we've always thrived on that kind of excitement. At that time we were still kind of small enough that we could play an outside gig without too much of a disturbance, you know. I think the number of people that would come and see us now, I mean, there'd just be too many for us to do that, and you know, the possibility for trouble is just, you know, dramatically increased, you know.
The first time I actually played, when we'd done the Mound, because it was pissing with rain and it took us so long to get our arse in the gear, until we actually had the gear set up, that was a bit, you know, I don't really want to do this is going to be really crap. But the Bristol Square, that was a really nice day. And it just seemed to be such a fine location. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. Even the audience embraced us fully. And at the end, a guy just couldn't hold himself any longer, come running across and wanted to give me a big cuddle. And ended up cuddling Willie instead. I was really pissed off, like.
Come on, head. Come on. Come on, fucking get.
The fuck's sake, man? What a nipper. What's going on?
Aye? Oh,
They're sitting beside us.
see if you blow up one. Hey.
His main provocation was a couple of quarts of butane gas. He seemed to get paranoid that somebody was laughing at him from the other side of the square. So he ran across the square and was heard to shout, "Come on then!"
The outside gigs sort of done us a lot of good, because the guy at the generator shop get to know us, because we hired the generator from him a couple of times. And he actually, like, his uncle worked for MCA Records, and he gave him the demo tape. First song's Whitewater Anatomy. That's probably the first song that Psyche ever sort of really got together. And then there was Beastry, which was like another early Psyche song. And then there was Innes's song. He came down from like the north. He wrote a song called Space Ascending, which is about space ascending. And there was another song called Catharsis, which was like sort of not quite an old song.
I remember recording it. It was originally supposed to be recorded over a weekend, and it took about a weekend to do the first drum track. That was mainly due to the producer having to go to Halloween parties and things like that. But it eventually took about a month. I remember sitting in this control room for about a month, waiting for the producer to get out of bed.
On the 4th of September, if you enjoyed the set or want to kick our faces in or something.
That was the start. All the media were there. Everybody that we tried to get to our shows before all came that night, and we just killed them. We had to drug them first, but we killed them that night.
There's a lot of people that hadn't seen us, and they saw us outside on the streets at those two gigs, and I mean, the audiences at gigs in Edinburgh after that just mushroomed out of all control. It was just phenomenal.
I always thought Psyche was going to succeed in writing songs, at least, to actually make the music that we intended to make. After a while, like, we didn't really intend to make any music at all, but the fact that we made music anyway was enough.
I think it was someone at one of those gigs actually. We had some Japanese tourists came up and they were sort of, they had Iron Maiden t-shirts on and stuff. Not that we sound like Iron Maiden, but I mean they were getting into it and taking pictures, and we passed on some tapes, and I don't know, a couple of years later, some interest from Japan. I mean, it's just about planting these seeds, really, at the end of the day.
The music that we play, I think, comes from mainly the personalities of the people in the band. It's just the way that everybody in the band plays. They're all really individual sort of players, and put them all together and you end up with this colossal individual thing which cannot really be described as anything else than ourselves, really.
A grievous amalgam.
Yeah, what's that?
A grievous amalgam, if you will.
A grievous amalgam, if you will. If you will, only if you will. I could possibly say that without laughing.
Says Dave.
Ages.
I know. I bloody well know.
Shall we stop there then?
Nah, more. Nah.
More.
Let's rant about something else. Something better. So Andrew, who the fuck do you think you are anyway? This was your fucking idea, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, all we asked, all we wanted was a video.
It's never ceased to amaze me, right, regardless of the effort that we all waste on this band, like the amount of effort and time and money that other people seem to want to waste for this band. That's why I keep doing it.
Aye.
It's usually because we asked them, or somebody in the band asked them.
Yeah.
Aye.
Oh, did you know Duncan's going to be moving through to town? He's going to be moving with Annette.
Aye.
Supposedly.
Fine. You can waste more time on us.
Yeah.